Okay. Hi, my name is Taylor, and I'll be covering the first negative side of this debate. I'll be covering 3 points of my discussion. Legalizing prostitution will decrease health risks. Legalizing prostitution will not be beneficial for the economy, and it will not increase the safety for the women involved. So my first claim is that legalizing prostitution will not be beneficial for the economy. According to Awaken.com, pimps tell women in prostitution, "You'll get rich. You'll make $15,000 a week." They also lied to Nevada citizens, telling them that the rural counties are supported by brothels. It's actually the other way around. The counties are supporting the brothels. By the time licensing, policing, and other state-paid tasks are performed, most countries with legal brothels barely break even. In both northern and southern Nevada, major developers have stayed out of the state because of counties' proximity to legal prostitution. So expensive illegal acts have been taken place due to the families, schools, and respective businesses and organizations that don't want brothels in the area that they're running their businesses or living. And according to a report done in Senegal in 2010, a large group of women claimed to not register themselves due to the fear from the public and harassment from the police. It says women in prostitution are considered social outcasts. So there's no point in attempting to legalize prostitution just for the taxing purposes, because the women don't even want to register themselves, and they're just going to continue to do prostitution underground. And so further, Germany found that the legalization of prostitution did not increase tax revenues like expected, because mafias do not pay taxes, and so the pimps are part of the mafias. And although there are not supposed to be pimps in legalized brothels, they still come around and they still control prostitutes. So why would we legalize prostitution when there are countries that have proven that it hasn't done nothing good for their economy? So my second claim is that legalizing prostitution will not reduce health risks associated with prostitution. So prostitutes usually get paid more for not using a condom because they're either scared of their customer or because they can barely make ends meet in their personal life. A prostitute will agree to not using one. In 1986, the Australian government legalized brothels in hopes that the crime would be eliminated, lives would be safer, and health risks would decrease. But STDs and AIDS increased. This was due to the fact that the medical authorities only examined one of the partners in the sex act, which was self-defeating. Only examining one partner leaves the other to continue to go around and spread whatever he or she may have to the rest of society or whoever they're fooling around with. And then so 2 years after the legalization in Australia, the number of women with HIV increased by 91%. And because the Johns do not undergo medical exams, and the Johns are like the pimps, but they tried to get rid of the word pimps just because it became illegal. And so not only are the customer and employees not getting regularly checked for STDs, but prostitutes are not even aware where they can access health services. They also fear that if they get checked and they test positive, that they will have to stop working and they will lose their income. And according to a statistics table that compares all the STDs in each state, Nevada, where prostitution is legal, is ranked 30 points higher than California. So we need to not encourage prostitution, because it is clear that there are no benefits from this legalization. My last claim that I'm going to be covering is that legalizing prostitution will not increase the safety of the women involved. For a prostitute in the Netherlands to make any money, she has to have sex with at least 10 to 15 customers each day. So this not only supports the idea that it's not safe, but also that doesn't help decrease the health risks. So here's a quote that I found. "The women do not want to or are not allowed by their pimps to register, get health checks, pay taxes, or adhere to rules that might affect the businesses. There's no point in legalizing it because people do not want to, and they will do whatever they can to make as much money as they can." Many women are in street prostitution because they want to avoid being controlled or exploited by pimps. Other women do not want to register or submit to health checks. Thus, legalization may actually drive some women into street prostitution. So there may be little regulation in legalized brothels, but there is zero regulation within street prostitution. A majority of women do not want to follow rules or get taxed, so they will continue to be illegal prostitutes, defeating the entire purpose of the legalization. So the majority of sex workers felt that laws could do little about violence that occurred. After the law was passed, 35% of women in prostitution reported that they had been coerced by Johns. Women were also scared to tell police because they couldn't trust them, so the violence was still going unreported. There was one Dutch study where 60% of women in legal prostitution were physically assaulted, 70% were threatened with physical assault, 40% experienced sexual violence, and 48% had been coerced into illegal prostitution. Melissa Farley, who was a clinical psychologist, a researcher, and an anti-prostitution activist, discovered that 68% of women, men, and transgender people involved in prostitution had a post-traumatic stress disorder, which is comparable to people who have suffered from rape or torture. Also, the mayor of Amsterdam acknowledged that the Dutch had been wrong about legal prostitution. It did not make prostitution safer. Instead, he said, legal prostitution increased organized crime, it functioned like a magnet for pimps and punters, and trafficking increased after legal prostitution, and 80% of Dutch women had been trafficked. So clearly, legalizing prostitution would be inefficient, unsafe, and will continue to spread STDs and HIV. Thank you.